And we are live. So it is Monday, February 2nd. We are at the Ahr Expo. This is 2026. We're back in Vegas again.
Yeah.
I've got Joe Freese here from Parker Sporlan. And how you doing, Joe?
Good. Chris, how you doing?
I'm hanging in there. It kind of seems crazy that it's already here again.
Yeah, it was just a short year ago when we saw each other in Orlando, right?
Orlando, yeah. It's definitely a short year, but you guys have a lot of stuff. Well, the industry in general has a lot going on right now. We have a big transition to A2L. Obviously, big push on the heavy industrial supermarket side with CO2 and stuff. So we have a lot of changes. Now, with changes like that, you guys, Parker Sporlan, you guys have all sorts of components and different things that you guys have that help us in the field.
Correct.
Does it get overwhelming? I mean, I realize you have a specific job within the company and you're working on this product, but does it get overwhelming with the amount of products you guys have as a manufacturer sometimes?
So Zoomlock's one of my products.
Yeah.
I'm also, product manager for a lot of our electric valves and some of our solenoid valves and many other products within the organization. So it is kind of overwhelming, all the different products that we have.
Yeah.
So we have TEVs, electric valves, solenoids, controls.
Right.
So, I mean, wide variety of products that we kind of handle, and you get involved in a little bit of everything. So.
Yeah. So with, we're going to specifically we'll be talking about different stuff all throughout the day. And for those that are just tuning in right now, we are live at the Ahr Expo in Las Vegas, Nevada, at the Las Vegas Convention Center. And again, I have Joe Freese here from Parker Sporlan. So one thing that you guys just released this last year, right? We're a couple months into the year, I think.
Yeah, so about 6 to 8 months ago.
Yeah, 6 to 8 months. You guys have your new press ring kit. So this is for the Zoomlock Max fittings. So we've all used the Zoomlock Max fittings, and I know there's people out there that don't want to use press, and that's fine. We're not saying that you have to press everything. We're giving options.
Correct. Yeah.
So Parker Sporlan continues to make valves and components that are non-press, and they're also making components that are press capable or press compatible.
Yep.
Everybody has options, and that's the most important thing in the industry right now is that we know we have options. There's different ways that we can go about things. Using press fittings, that can speed up the job.
Yep.
But then at the same time, there's times that maybe press isn't going to be practical for a certain job. So we have the options, and you guys give us the components and the different things to be able to use those. But one cool thing that you guys have about your new Zoomlock Max press rings, or is your new Zoomlock Max press ring. So the idea with this press ring right here, so I know that it's kind of hard for the camera to see. It's a small press ring. So we only have one jaw now that we have to worry about when we're using the press rings.
Yep.
Instead of carrying the 6 different size jaws for the different sizes of pipe, we now have one jaw and you carry the different press rings.
Yep.
And you made a good point earlier when we were just talking about something. I didn't think about this, but yeah, if you are going into an attic, you could literally throw 2 different size press rings. You're probably only going to be pressing 3/4 and 3/8 or 7/8 and 3/8 up in the attic. Well, you can just simply throw the press ring in your pocket. You have the jaw put on your tool.
Yeah, and a couple fittings in your pocket. So you have, just how much easier is that just to get around when you're crawling through those tight spaces or hot spaces? When you get in and out of there as fast as you can.
Definitely.
Right?
Definitely.
So
yeah.
You put all those in your pocket or a pouch or a small bag or something. Carry the tool with your one jaw. It's so much lighter, so much easier to get around. So definitely an advantage there. For
and the thing I don't think that people are realizing, and it was when I saw recently, I was staring at some unistrut with some pipe in the unistrut, and I was thinking about it, how difficult it was going to be to take the traditional press jaws and get it into some of the positions to properly press the pipe while it's still already in the unistrut and the pipe's uniformed and set where it needs to be. With the new press rings, you're able to get into tighter spaces because you now just get the ring around the pipe, this tiny ring right here, and then you bring the jaw in from the other angle. So right now we have the fitting in the ring. So essentially you're just going to bring a jaw in, and the jaw is going to grab from right here and press this fitting on, and you're going to be good to go. So it definitely makes it easier and makes it tighter, more compact, able to get in there. Now, let's talk about something with the press, though. So this is something that I harp on a lot when it comes to using press fittings and when it comes to brazing pipe together. Either way, the key is the prep. It's how you
100%.
prep the pipe when it comes to brazing or to press. But especially with press, there's some things that, you know, people don't think about. They see press and they think, oh, that's really easy. Anybody can do it. While it does and can speed up the job, you really have to put thought into prepping.
I mean, it's not just like unskilled labor where you just stick the pipe together and stick it together. I mean, you want to make sure you take your time, prep the pipe. You want to make sure there's no indentations, grooves, or anything like that that create a leak path. You want to make sure you deburr it. You don't want any chance of nicking that O-ring or causing any leak paths. So you definitely want to take your time and do it right. And it's not for any, you know, guy off the street to do it. You need to be properly trained. You need to go through the process. You need to do it right. But it does speed it up. It's more consistent. You know, it's a shorter learning curve, right? So after a couple times, a little training, you can be up to speed. Whereas brazing is a skill, right? It's an art form, especially on some of these tight locations. I'm not a good brazier. I would struggle to do that. I've pressed many times. I could do a press connection, whereas the brazing it's hard to do sometimes. And sometimes it's just hard to get in there and do a proper joint.
So you're confirming that there's not a conspiracy to take the skill out of the trade.
Oh, definitely not.
That's a joke because there's a lot of people
100%.
on social media and stuff that say this is ruining the trade or it's dumbing down the trade. It is absolutely not. This is another tool being used by skilled technicians to finish a job. Okay. And mind you, if someone thinks that they're just going to grab this and just go press a line together and call it a day, I mean, there's a very, very small percentage that it might work, but there's a pretty big percentage that it's not going to work.
So anytime we've had an issue, it's always been because of lack of prep, right? So it's never, I mean, the product is very tight, very leak, you know, it prevents leaks. There's no leaks, but unless you don't prep the pipe right, you don't do the right processes. But you know, there's a lot of advantage to the pressed fittings where you can't braze in hospitals a lot of times. You can't braze. Some people don't want you to braze any A2L refrigerants, or depending on the place, schools, you have to shut off the
you'll have to do
firewatch. You got to wait around. So those are a lot of advantages where the press really comes into advantage over the brazing.
Definitely. And you know, with the press, one thing that I do want to cover is that, you know, with refrigeration in general, we are concerned with cleaning and deburring the inside of the pipe with refrigeration because we want to protect our valves from the little foreign pieces from when we're cutting it with our tubing cutters. A lot of people don't realize that when you're using a tubing cutter, you're actually smashing down the pipe and you're scoring it, and it creates an indentation on the inside of the pipe, right? That you do need to deburr. So that way that little burr eventually 5 years from now is going to come loose and it's going to float through the system and it's going to get stuck in the head pressure control valve, or it's going to get stuck in the TEV or whatever, right? And cause problems. Okay, so that's traditional refrigeration stuff. But with press, we add in a new element because we're also concerned about the outside of the pipe. Correct. We need to deburr and clean the outside of the pipe as well, because you now have a sharp spot where when you slide a fitting over it, the O-ring could get damaged slightly. So it does take a little bit of extra thought, and we are now concerned with the outside of the pipe as well as the inside of the pipe.
That's true. I mean, it's definitely one of the steps. So, I mean, we have a thorough instruction. We have training on our website, zoomlockmax.com. So you can see that. You can see videos of how to press the fittings, applications, catalogs, brochures. We have many different tool options. So you can get a tool from us. You can use any of the other press tools in the market. You might already have a press tool if you do plumbing already. You know, if that's part of your job as well, you probably already have a press tool. You just need to make sure you get the right jaws to use the ZoomLock Max fittings, and then you're ready to go. So
that's the key thing is that, you know, the ZoomLock Max jaws will work with other press tools besides the Rothenberger tools, but you've got to make sure you buy the right jaws, the right KN value to make sure that your tool is going to apply the proper pressure. It's not going to damage anything.
And you got to make sure you buy the ZoomLock Max jaws. So there's multiple other press fittings out there. You just got to make sure you match the fittings to the tools and jaws that you're using. So and it's all laid out in the catalog pretty clear. So
zoomlockmax.com
is
the website. Okay, cool. So we are at the AHR trade show. We're going to be here all day. We're going to be popping up with more streams soon. If you're here, stop by. We're at Parker Sporlan booth number. See if I was more prepared. I'll tell you right now, though. I have it right here. So, because this makes for good radio. We are at booth number. One sec. I'll have it. I have it in my phone. I got to go through all the silly pictures that I got from Vegas. Booth Charlie 2930. Okay. So definitely stop by the Parker Sporlan booth. I'll be here for a good majority of the day today. Come say hi. Oh, and we do need to announce the other thing that Parker Sporlan has. Of course, they've got all sorts of giveaways going on, but I have something else in my pocket.
Come to the booth. We have a Zoomlock Max bottle opener that you can press yourself.
Yeah.
So come do that, and then Chris is showing the other.
Everybody wants one of these new little TEV coins, right? And so they actually have some special edition ones here at the booth. And everybody that told me, hey, grab me one and send it to me, they told me, no, you got to come to the booth. No, I'm just kidding. But definitely come over to the booth, get your the new adjustment coin for the expansion valves. And yeah, so we'll see you soon. We're going to go ahead and queue this up, and hope to catch you guys on the next one.